What's up, guys? Welcome to Relate with Nate. I'm your host, Nate Siggers. This is our second episode here. Our first episode went really well. People all over the region talking about it, how great it was, how much they love me, how awesome I am. So we found some people on the street. My man Ian's out there talking to her now. We're going to see what they thought about the show.
What do you think about Relate with Nate, man?
I don't like it at all.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. It's just weird. Relate with Nate.
It's a talk show.
Who's the host?
Nate Siggers.
Who the hell's Nate Siggers?
Think about Relate with Nate. Ma'am, come back here, ma'am. Just You think about Relate with Nate?
Makes me hungry.
Nate.
Afraid to say.
Why are you afraid?
I'm afraid you won't like what I said.
Sir, what do you think about Relate with Nate?
Relate with Nate. Is that the one where they sell the storage lockers or
No.
different show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched it, but I can't believe I missed the whole episode of SpongeBob for it.
Yeah, I've seen it, and I don't think the host can read either.
What? Relate with Nate? Man, ain't nobody got time for that.
Wow, that's messed up. Even my kids hating on me. Well, anyway, we're still going to enjoy the show. We're going to have a good time. We have a couple great guests coming up. We have Joey Eli, Eric Sherrill, the starters of the guys who started CleanMingo. And we also have my good friend and co-worker, a running fool is what I like to call him, Alexis Batalza. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks Southern again for our sponsorship. We have Mr. Joey Eli and Eric Sherrill here. Eric's face is blurred due to the nature of his job, but you ought to feel lucky because I have to look at him. Thanks guys for coming on to the show. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having us. Thanks, Dave.
I've known these guys for a while. Eric not as long as Joey. I've known Joey till our age a little bit, at least 30 years I say. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah.
At least 30
Don't
years.
go into much more detail than that, though.
My kids call me old all the time, but I still got my boys' looks. So the reason we have these guys here, they started a movement in our area that's really sweeping through the whole county. People are excited talking about it. And I really want to get these guys on the show and find out how and why they started this movement. Could you tell us more about what you have going on?
Sure. CleanMingo is sort of a mission that we began as a way to bring people together. And it's sort of a cause. And what we realized was, even in our conversations that led to the birthing of this particular movement, was that the people of our region are really a people that gather around causes. Around Christmas time, we got a lot of miners out of work now, but I've seen people come off of mine sites with truckloads of canned food, just because their brothers are in need. And so the people of our region will gather around a cause. And so when we considered unity and why unity, or how we could bring a people together, because as we look around today, even on your TV set this evening, what I found is division is everywhere. And as we can make a good observation on this one, it's not working. I mean, it's not working to build our culture, our people. It's not working. Division is just not working for us. So I believe God has provided us ways to come together. And I think when Jesus prayed, John 17, he asked the Father to let the people be one and to come together as one. And so how do we bring together then unity? And that's when Eric and I began to dialogue, and Eric was like, unity is the answer, but how do we bring a people together? And I don't believe that we just sit back and wait on God to do it. And so in this particular deal, we just felt like that, what do we have? What do we have to start with? It's God who asked Moses, what do you have? And Moses would respond, I have this staff. Well, we feel like what we have is trash. And so we began to see, what is the staff then in our hand? What is it that we have? And so trash is what we have, plenty of it. There's no shortage.
That's true.
But at the same time, this particular mission is not it's not as if we're going to get it perfectly correct. But we as the people of God feel like we're just like looking around to see how we can get involved where God's working. God's had a vision for this place forever. I moved my family back here in the year 2001 because of vision for this place. There's hope. And And our hope comes from inside. It comes from who God is and our relationship with Him. It's not born out of what we have or lack. It comes out of what we are on the inside.
I think that there's a uniqueness about the people of our region. I mean, we're one of the only few people who hasn't kicked God out of our local governments. We still acknowledge God. We still pray before, gatherings. And I don't necessarily think that we're going to stick to just CleanMingo. I think it's going to spread all over. I think if we can unite as a church and forget about the name over the door, I think that we can accomplish anything.
I agree with that 100%, man. I've working with a group called Healthy Mind, Bodies, and Spirits, where I'm trying to get all the different churches, different denominations together just to work on different causes. No specific cause, but just getting the churches together. Me and Joey had a conversation the other night that regardless, churches are the cornerstone of the community.
Yep.
And you know what still I think is great about this community is that regardless how bad it may seem sometimes, it's still like we're one big family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't matter who you are, where you're from. You can see somebody, say in Atlanta, from here that you might not hardly speak to, and y'all run up and hug each other like you first cousins.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really respect about this area. How do you think the youth can learn from CleanMingo?
Well, I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old, and when we took them out to pick up trash, they told us after the first time that it helped them to see it and not just ignore it. It helped them to also see the beauty that can be without it. So without the trash, in other words, when you pick it up, you see nice lush green grass, and you see a good-looking road that you're driving along. Otherwise, you got it's there, but it's littered with all these bottles and other things. But stewardship for the next generation. These kids are the ones that are up and coming in this region, and I think we need to, in this generation, we need to lead them lead them into good stewardship, and not just that, but we in this region have come to a point where trusting ourselves is not the answer. It's not an answer. It's not the option. What I want my kids to see is my life of faith. My daughter, as I understand it, has been in the school bathroom crying before, just at the thought that mommy and daddy might have to leave the region, move away, with everybody losing jobs and any kind of news that circulates like that causes them to think, oh, we got to go, we got to leave. But then I come home from work only to explain, we walk by faith and not by sight. We're not trusting ourselves here. And so they see this walk of faith. And I said this before, and I think it stands true, especially coming out of last fall. Trust in God we trust is on our money. I think that's ironic. Because I believe the money is what we now trust in as a people, across the nation. And I think God is calling His people, especially in this region, back to a trust wholeheartedly in Him. And CleanMingo is sort of a picture of that, a faith statement to say we don't just trust in what we see. We don't trust in what our paychecks. I don't live by my paycheck. I live by faith in my God who supplies the paycheck and supplies all my needs, and not just all my needs according to my paycheck or my bank account, but all my needs according to His riches in glory. And so my life should be then lived out that way. Not like, oh, poor me, I'm worried about my job. No, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about being faithful to the Lord and moving where He is. And I want my kids to see that. I want other kids to see that, and I'm not ashamed to tell them. And we walk with a lot of teenagers these days that hang out with my kids. And so they get this faith walk that we're trusting, and we're being faithful to where we live, to take care of what we have, and to say we're not called to this. We're not going to live eternally in trash, and we're not going to put up with it now.
I believe that we need to lead our children by example. If you look at it on the other end, throwing out trash is kind of a learned behavior. You see your mom and dad doing it, you're going to do it too. And I think that's culminated over the years, and now that's what you get with pretty much this generation now that are doing it. But I think if we can lead our children by example, and we could actually, show them the beauty of this area, and let them grow up in a beautiful place to where people, and you can get tourism coming in. Right now, I talked to a guy that was coming and riding the trails, and he was telling me that, the brochures were beautiful. He looked at the brochures and he came in and he said, now don't get me wrong. He said, when I go out in the mountains, it's beautiful. He said, but when I get down in your valleys, all I see is trash.
I know I'm not the only person that thinks that as the generations go on, it's like the kids are getting worse and everything's getting worse, the crimes, just people's thought process. It's like people don't care, not just about you or me, but about anything anymore. A lot of young kids don't care. And that's why, I love seeing what you guys do with the youth and all that stuff, man. But if we can retrain the kids to care, to think about their brother, think about their sister or friend, because people they don't even know, to actually care about people and people's feelings, man, it go a long way.
Well, I think when you think about kids, and the natural thing is that whatever we pass down continues until somebody says, this has got to stop. And I when I think about kids, and you always think about how people, hurt people. I mean, people that hurt others are themselves hurt. And sometimes when you look at how, and again, this is a bigger study than I'm even willing to deal with or talk about, but when you think about the way families have been so disrupted in our culture, we're perpetuating a culture of pain. And when you live out that much pain, it's not going to, the pain has to go somewhere. And so we're showing it in drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and violence and other ways. So at some point, we as a generation have to say no more. And what we're perpetuating down to the kids is a different mindset. When the surrounding regions, surrounding counties, surrounding states say, God is in West Virginia, that's a successful CleanMingo. When God's fame goes from sea to shining sea, that's a successful CleanMingo.
Awesome. So you guys, y'all heard it. You don't have to contact anybody. If you want to be part of CleanMingo, you can start right now. You can go out, pick up trash, hashtag it. You can tag me in it. I send it to Joy, whatever it takes. You don't have to contact anybody to be a part of CleanMingo. You already are a part if you go out and pick up a little trash.
Yeah.
But once again, I want to thank Joy and Eric for coming to visit us and sharing their story and their vision with us. Come back after the break. We have Mr. Alexis Batalza is going to tell us how to go from lazy to running crazy. Great, guys. Welcome back, guys, to Relate with Nate. Got my homeboy here, Mr. Alexis Batalza. Thanks for coming to the show, Alexis. Alexis is not only my coworker, he's one of my really good friends, almost like family. Can you tell our fans where you work and what you do, Alexis?
I work at the Williamson Health and Wellness Center. I am the active living coordinator over there. So I help put on monthly 5K races, and I help coordinate walking competitions such as the Lunch Walk Challenge and the Healthy Feud that takes place in the spring, the Lunch Walk, and then the Healthy Feud takes place in the fall. We also do the Walk with Ease, which works with people of all ages. We do like stretching exercises, chair exercises, and hopefully do some yoga exercises, chair yoga exercises real soon. I also do a lot of piggybacking from our other programs that we do with healthy eating, your stuff, volunteerism, and any of the entrepreneurship stuff.
That's awesome. Let me ask you a question, Alexis. How could somebody like me who's lazy, I don't like to run, only time I would run is if the law or the Klan was chasing me. So how could somebody like me get involved with, start out from nothing to running 5Ks and marathons?
Well, I think with the Lunch Walk Challenge and the Healthy Feud, I always think with these programs that we put out there, you can use them as a short-term goals. The way we track people with that program is you can use your phones. You can use just different phone apps that you have. You can do pedometers. We have pedometers that we provide for people, and that tracks your mileage or steps.
Yeah, our pedometers we never get back. If you got some of our pedometers, we want them back, guys. We're not giving them away. We just let you use them.
And we have and we have an online system, so it's pretty easy to track your progress throughout the programs. So usually the programs are like 10 to 12 weeks. The cool thing with the Healthy Feud is 100 days, so it's 15 weeks. So it starts in the late summer into December itself.
So like the Healthy Few, guys, for you who are not familiar, is you walk 100 miles in 100 days. It sounds like a whole bunch, but most people walk 2 or 3 miles just at work, not even realizing it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty unique. Our program has grown through the past couple of years. The Lunch Walk Challenge, this is the 5th year of the program, and this year we got about 600 participants.
That's pretty cool.
I think we do have about 80 teams right now.
From all over the country,
yeah.
too, right?
Yeah. So we reach out everyone.
So tell us, how far do you walk in the Lunch Walk program?
For the Lunch Walk program, our goal is to reach the western coast of California. So we start from here in Williamson and just like all the way down to,
Excuse
to
me,
the western
could you
coast.
please tell me that term again? Never a dull moment with Alexis, guys. Never. Can you tell me what got you into, like the job you're doing and being healthy and running and exercising? What started that?
This happened, let's just start from the beginning, really.
Well, hold on, guys, before he answers that question. I have a picture of Alexis before he started all that. Some of you might remember, might not remember, but it's Alexis. You can't see it. It's Alexis. So it don't even look like the same guy. Now we'll let him tell his story, why and how he got to where he is now.
So, yeah, let's just start from the beginning. I always struggled with my weight when I was younger. And that picture there you see, that was back in the spring of 2008. A friend of ours passed away, and we all got in a group photo with our family and friends. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, I had to do something about this. Even with my family's background history with health, when my dad got sick, he had the complications from diabetes, which went off more with like open heart surgery, all these just different complications that went on through his life. And I wanted to be more health conscious after that. And I started eating a little better and started walking. I started running a little more, then I got injured. So my thing is, my advice to you guys is don't try to go out too fast. You gotta take everything slow, take your time with it, and be consistent with it. Because you don't want to be struggling with, like, say, shin splints, and that's an awful
I had shin
experience.
splints all through high school, man.
Yeah.
It sucked. Yeah.
So I built up real slow. Did like 1, 2, 3 miles a day walking at our flood wall back here in West Williamson, and eventually I got to the point like, I want to start running. And running is like one thing I never liked, so it was a love-hate relationship. Once I got to the feel of it consistently, run, walk, I used some of the cement blocks there, the cement benches, as like to guide me. Like, I'm going to run to this spot, I'm going to run to this spot. And that helped me kind of build my confidence. And eventually I ran into a mile, and I was just like feeling great. And eventually 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, all the way to 6 miles. So like every day I would pass the same people to see me like have changed throughout those past couple months, and see me drop the weight. So by the end of the year of 2008, I was weighing 250 pounds in that photo. And at the end of the year, I was weighing about 199.
Wow, man. And I mean, that's really inspiring. I mean, like you were saying, people like me, I would think I would have to just go out and take off running and run 2 or 3 miles.
Yeah.
And I mean, that makes sense what you've done, stair steps.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people fail at running because of that reason. They get out and say, oh, I'm going to go run a 5K. I'm going to go run this, go run that. They're unsuccessful, and then they give up.
Well, that's the thing is, like I was saying, is I got injured, and I took my time with it, and I didn't want to go over the same problems I did. So just slowly build up the muscles in my body because I wasn't used to it. And yeah, like I said, I lost that weight. And that following year in 2009, a friend of mine came over to me at church to say, hey, you want to sign up for the Half McCoy Marathon? I was like, dude, you're crazy. So I said, yes, let's do it. And I continued the same training, running like 6 miles a day, every day. Eventually I met some people like Dave Hatfield, Harold Osborne, really, really good friends of mine. And Harold helped me out a lot with advice and getting me to run a long run, which a long distance run is what's called, going out there running 12 miles before this race. The race I was running is called a half marathon. It's like 13.1 miles. And when June came around, I was getting ready for it. My friend who mentioned, hey, let's run this race, he backed out. Of course, that made me mad, but I wanted to do it.
Hey, Alexis, you've never been mad. I've
Yeah,
never
right.
seen you mad at nobody.
But when that happened in June 2009, of course, I see all these people from around the country, the world, nervous as heck. I had like my younger sister, some friends helped me out along the course, which was great. And then I saw Harold at the start of the line, and we ran together. And I didn't know what to expect. And with all this running, it's changed my life. I mean, through these past couple of years, from that time on, when Dad got sick to like now, I mean, struggled a lot with a lot of sickness. Both my parents, unfortunately, have passed away now. But the calling was helping the community, and with the Wilmington Health and Wellness Center, they were looking for a health and wellness promoter back in the summer of 2012, and they asked me if I wanted to be a part of it to help out within the schools, and I said yes, and I got hired on with them with a good friend of ours, Jenny Hudson. And we were both the health and wellness promoters there. And of course, from there on, we worked, within the community, which I never really expected myself to do so much within the community. And I'm thankful for it. I mean, I just felt great to see people believe in me and something that, I do adore and love with the running, and seeing now people out there being consistent with it, passionate. What's the other word I'm looking for? Is contagious. Is key. And now,
I could say from what I've seen, I've been back here maybe 3 years, like when I lived here, nobody was running.
Yeah.
Nobody was running at all. Now you see 30 people out a day, just random places running, not
Yeah.
all together. And a lot of that has to do with, seeing you and your story and some of the things you have going on.
like, I know I can relate to a lot of people out there that's been struggling with their own weight. I mean, our high, I guess, gender-wise, when you look at it, like the races, is women. And women are out there running, and they started as walkers and then into the running itself. And now they're all running, the 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and marathons. So we've seen a lot of people grow here in the past 4 years. I mean, the club that I'm involved with is called the Tug Valley Road Runners Club. I'm the president of that club now.
President! Whoop, whoop!
And just seeing this group grow within the community and other communities. I mean, they're all like ambassadors to what we do, and then just spreading the word.
Awesome. I know it's been a tough year for you. How did you keeping on? How did you keep on with the positiveness, keep on with the exercising, and stay positive?
I remember in the last interview there was Joey. I heard him say hope, and I always preach as much with hope to keep me going. I mean, when Dad was sick, it was rough times. It was overwhelming. We didn't know what to expect through that time. And then when Mom got sick, I mean, I always believed that she's going to get through this. Unfortunately, she passed, but it still brought that hope, and that hope brought me deep down in my heart with this community, because I've stayed here in this community for a while. I mean, I'm just like a lot of people, they left. I stayed and tended to my family, and I've seen a lot through that, and I think it made me a much stronger person to get me where I'm at right now.
I know I've been through the struggle too. Like when my father passed away, it was like almost instantly, it was like a life-changing, experience, because not saying that I was in a whole bunch of stuff I shouldn't have been in, but I didn't feel like I was where I should have been financially, mentally, or anywhere in my life. So it was almost like when my father, after he passed away, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna let my mother leave this earth, and I still have that same feeling. So even though that was definitely the worst thing, the most the biggest tragedy, excuse me, that's ever happened in my life, somehow I seem to pull some positiveness out of it, man. And I think, seems like with me, that's where you're going with it too. I mean, I know you have rough days, man, you know, because I'm with you every day.
Yeah.
And I really admire your strength. I really admire how you lead people and how you motivate people, man, to just keep it moving. That's really great.
I mean, I believe too is, you know, during those tough times, you gotta look deep down and love yourself more. I mean, I think people will see that, and it kind of radiates, shines upon you, but upon all of them. So, yeah, the work that we're doing here has been fantastic.
I never had a problem with loving myself more. Anyway, what events or races do you have going on now that people can get involved in, or things you have coming up that people can get involved in?
You know, right now, currently, we still have the Lunch Walk Challenge that's happening. We're in the 6th week of the program. People can still sign up. I mean, I don't want to put a deadline on that, especially on your health. You know, we got a race coming up in May. It'll be the first day opening of our farmers market, and we're working with the Relay for Life at ARH. So it'll be a good collaboration right there, and with the Lunch Walk Challenge, the last week of the program. So get like a big celebration. And then our big one, of course, is the Hatfield McCoy Marathon in June 11th.
That's big time.
Big
Hatfield
time,
McCoy.
man.
People from all over the world come to this area to run one of the top races in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this been in magazines, people talking about it on TV.
Yeah,
you know?
it's been overwhelming, but we're proud with all the love that we're getting.
All right, Alexis, guys, appreciate you coming on my show.
Thank you, man.
I have this thing where I always like to challenge somebody to something on every episode. I was going to challenge Alexis to a 5K, but there'd be no contest. I'd smoke him. Then I was going to ask him to do some kind of trivia. There'd be no contest either. So, well, actually, he might beat me in trivia, but racing, there's no chance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to challenge Alexis, since he thinks he's in better shape than me, to a boxing match. 1-on-1, a mano a mano. I'm going to kick his butt. And I hope we can still be friends afterwards. So stay tuned. You never know what you might see.
Gentlemen, I want a good fight, I want a fair fight, I want a clean fight. Is that understood? Understood? Alright, best of luck.
I will break you.
I want to say thank you guys for watching my show. We really appreciate it. I want to thank you to the studio audience. I want to say thank you to my awesome guests, Joy Eli, Eric Sherrill, Mr. Alexis, the running fool, Batalza. I want to give a shout out to Southern. We appreciate the use of your facilities. And I want to say a big thank you to my director / producer, Mr. Joey Ferris. And we also have a few events that are coming up soon. We got the Coalfields Got Talent, guys, the biggest talent show in the area. Be there or be square, May the 20th and 21st. We also have a cooking class at the Wilmson Pool, April the 14th and April the 28th. And we also have intramurals sign-ups right now. You can call us at 304-235-3400. Once again, we appreciate you watching the show. One time for your mind. Give me two if you're true. Holler at your boy. You know how we do.
It's very intimidating. You're used to...